It's mental hearing that, you know. Did you feel the pressure off your dad when you were younger? Because obviously was he the first UFC
Yeah, first
fighter
British
out there?
man in the
Aye.
UFC, yeah.
That's unbelievable. Did you feel that pressure?
Like pressure from him himself?
Aye.
Nah. My dad's never pressured us into anything. Like I say, I didn't even compete in. When I first did compete, it wasn't under him. It was like from a different gym. It was like an above waist kickboxing gym, just a small gym. And I competed there, and I didn't even let him come to like my first 3 or 4 fights. That was mainly because of of myself, like having to live up to his name. But like my dad's never put pressure on us. If I wanted to compete, he would let us. If I didn't want to compete, he would just say, that's absolutely fine. Whatever you want to do makes you happy. That's fine. Like I had 5 years off not that long ago, and when I told my dad that I was retiring and that I was done, he was like, if that's what you want to do, like I can't force you in anything. Like whatever you want to do with your life, I'm happy for you.
And do you feel like the crowd kind of have got you back? Because I know, obviously, if you're fighting up here, it's like home crowd gear, like everyone
Yeah.
loves you, don't they? How does that feel truly when you're fighting?
Especially like now going to Cage Warriors with it being like the bigger crowd and stuff, like I've gained a lot more fans, a lot more support and everything, and like you feel like you've got the whole of the Northeast behind you when you fight. Like it does give you a massive buzz. Like you could be behind that curtain, like thinking, why am I doing this again? And then as soon as you walk out and the crowd go crazy, you think, yeah, that's why. Like that noise, that's why I do it.
Do you think it almost gets to the point where it's more than fighting when you're getting back like that? Because I'm actually a videographer for Josh Kelly.
Right.
So I do all of his content for his fights and stuff, and I spend a lot of time with him when he's fighting, and it's like you kind of go through everything from obviously building up to the fight and all the rest of it, and then once you feel the support that he's got in the Northeast, it's like, even for me, just having a camera with him,
Yeah.
being there, it's almost like, come on, you just feel some. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does it feel different if you're fighting elsewhere?
Yeah, like obviously my last 2 big fights have been in Newcastle. Like Cage Warriors obviously keeps for Newcastle because it's the biggest crowd, but like I mean, there's nothing worse than fighting out the area and having nobody there. But I've been quite lucky from like a young age. I've had like a massive support system. Like even when I've fought away, like I've had bus loads of people coming down to support us. So I've never really felt that like other side of like nobody being there, not having the support. But fighting in Newcastle, like with the crowd, yeah, it does kind of feel like you're doing it for everybody. And then you get people comment on your social media, like, you know, doing the Northeast proud and stuff like that. And like the one thing for me that always gives us a little bit of butterflies, and it's mad, I don't know why it does, but like when I'm getting announced, when I'm in the cage and I'm getting announced just before the fight, they're like, say, fighting out of Stanley. And like Stanley's just such a little town, and just to hear it, it's like crazy. It always gives us a little butterflies, and I think like I'm going to have to do it for all the people from Stanley, from where I'm from, just to prove that like anybody can do it. It doesn't matter where you're from. Like you are what you make of yourself. So like I always get that little like giddy feeling when I hear it, when I'm like waiting to fight.
The thing is, it's not even just Stanley, is it? It's like for the whole of the Northeast, because I
Yeah.
feel like the Northeast definitely is a hotbed of talent. There's absolutely loads of fighters from up here, and they're all unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really know many fighters who didn't do much up here.
Yeah.
And I feel like whether it's just the breed of people up here is different. Do you feel that there's more of a fighting hunger up here to succeed as well, not just in the cage?
Yeah, I feel like we might not have the best talented fighters about, like we have got some amazing talent, but like, you know, normally like the Americans, the Brazilians and all them, like the Russians, they're all like the ones who've been doing it from like literally like preschool, like they've all been doing it all their lives. But like we need to do it to make a living. Like there's not much going on around here, so we need to fight to make a living, and the only way we can do that is getting right at the top. So we might not be the most skilled, but like us Northerners, like we're like a scrap and we're going to put everything into it. So
The day like a terrible.
Aye.
What was, you know, when you were at school, were you, or sort of leaving school, well, whatever era you get into this, but did you go through the stage of like drinking in parks and all that, and or were you just more like, because did you have this sort of mindset of I want to do something, whether it was, you know, any kind of combat sport or something like that? Was that in your eye line, and was it a case of just, were you just dicking around like other kids?